allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd like to take just a moment before we start the meeting to congratulate our unified basketball team who finished in second place in the Section 2 tournament, which I think is a great accomplishment. So if we could just give them a quick round of applause. Okay, next on the agenda is the hearing and privilege of the floor. If anyone would like to address the board this evening, I ask that you come to the podium, give your name and your address, so that if we would like to respond to you in any way, because as you know, we can't respond from the table, but if we want to give you a response, we'll have your name and address to do that. Remember, you're limited to 5 minutes, and that you may not identify any staff member or student by name. Is there anyone who would like to address the board? Seeing no one, I will close the privilege and hearing of the floor and just remind you there's another one at the end of the meeting if you think of something you'd like to say. Our first item here, our next item here, is the annual food service program review, which Mr. Bigley will be doing for us. I will turn it over to you.
Thank you very much.
Sorry.
It's okay. Thanks for having me this evening, and I will go through this. The year 23-24 presented a very unique meal service to the students in each building. We are concluding the second year of a potential 5-year contract that you have with Chartwells Dining Services. It's a 1-year contract with an option to renew for 4 individual years. As you may remember, the district was required to bid the child nutrition contract in 2022 for the 22-23 school year. It was the first contract since the use of the emergency contract that USDA allowed during the COVID pandemic. In that contract, we maintained all the high quality items that were in the previous contract and established a financial return to the district that Chartwells has met. During COVID, the USDA authorized the issuance of free meals to all students and reimbursed the district for the cost of all those meals. In the 22-23 school year, the district was required to return to the household eligibility criteria, whereby the students would pay for their meals unless they qualified under a completed income application or as a directly certified student through one of the federal programs such as Medicaid or food stamps, SNAP programs. CEP, or Community Eligibility Provision, is a program whereby students are directly certified through their county in one of the various USDA programs. At the time, if a school building had 40% of its students who were directly certified, the entire building would be eligible for CEP and receive free breakfast and lunch meals for the entire school year. Additionally, if the entire district was to have 40% of its students meet the CEP criteria, the entire district would qualify and receive free meals. In the fall of 2023, USDA stepped in and changed the criteria for the Community Eligibility Provision Program, more commonly known as CEP. In late October 2023, USDA reduced the threshold to meet the CEP requirements from 40% to 25%. This was huge. It enabled many school districts, including Scotia-Glenville, to have some, and in many cases, all schools meet the new criteria and extend free meals to all. Here in Scotia, we identified 4 of your 6 schools that met the new 25% threshold. We gathered all the information from various departments within the district and applied for and were approved for CEP within 4 schools effective December 1st this past 2023. Both Glendale and Glen Warden fell short of the 25% threshold. However, in doing an analysis of the expected meal participation at these 2 schools, Mr. Giaquinto and myself determined that the cost of providing free meals to all students at these 2 schools could be funded by the existing cafeteria fund balance, and the district agreed. This meant that 4 of the 6 schools would be funded by the CEP revenues, and the remaining 2 were funded by small traditional federal reimbursements and your cafeteria fund balance. enabling all students in all schools to receive free meals each and every day. During the remainder of 23-24 school year, the district continued to monitor the county website for updates on the direct certification status of students at Glendale and Glen Warden, as well as the 4 existing schools. In March, we determined that although the 2 Glens still did not meet the 25% criteria, the district direct certification percentage surpassed the 25%, with the 2 Glens included. This means that in the school year upcoming, 24-25, all students will continue to receive free meals at breakfast and lunch, which is great. Between the federal and New York State reimbursements, all meals will be reimbursed at the full free reimbursement rate, which is much higher than the paid traditional rate. This is a great benefit to the students, the parents, and the cafeteria fund. This CEP program is a 4-year commitment from USDA, with the possibility of a 5th year should your direct certification fall below that 25% in your last year. We recommend that the district evaluate its direct cert percentage each year, and if it's above 25%, consider reapplying each year to extend CEP for another 4-year term. So there's no limitation. If you continue to meet the 25% criteria district-wide, you can apply each and every year and just extend that 4 more years out. So it's something to look at each and every year. Meal participation comparison. The attached participation on the next screen reports reflect the daily breakfast and lunch participation by school for this past 23-24 school year compared to the previous year, through May of this past year. You will see that the overall breakfast meals have increased by an amazing 25.8%, due in large part to the CEP program and breakfast in the classroom, BIC, that continues to benefit the students. At lunch participation, that was higher by 9.6%, with large increases at the 2 Glens and the middle school. Again, due to CEP, this clearly offsets the 11.8% decrease in lunch meals experienced the previous year. We, as a consulting company, are going to strongly suggest that Chartwells continue to meet with the students at all levels, but especially at the high school, to increase their participation even further. With just a 4.5% year-over-year increase, we feel that increase should be in the double digits this coming year. As you can see, hopefully you can see that the overall highlighted in yellow total district increase is 25.8%, and I think you can notice that the middle school and the 2 Glens are very, very high, 53, 37, and 54%, which is amazing, and this is breakfast. We flip to lunch. The overall percentage is the 9.6%, with high increases at Glen Warden, Glendale, and the middle school as well. And we had a small decrease in Lincoln, 4.3%. Financial analysis. On a monthly basis, we look at the financial revenues, expenditures. Your expenditure is basically the check that we cut to Chartwells on a monthly basis. All their meals times their meal rate equals the expense that you incur on a monthly basis. So we break down, on the top part, we break down the breakfast and lunch bid amount that they recently bid. We break out the breakfast meals, the lunch meals, the a la carte meals, breakfast and lunch, and we multiply it by the bid rate that they bid to come up with the number on the far right. You total that up. The actual bill by Chartwells through May would be $1,030,352. Their expenses for that same time period, 9-month time period, would be $952,411 to result in a bottom line for Chartwells of $77.9K. Underneath that, I like to bring out the district revenue. This is the revenue that is taken in by all the reimbursements and the a la carte sales through the students, and that equated to $1,088,542, less the amount that we paid Chartwells, equals $58,189 return to the district C fund. This is before any internal expenses, and that's through May of this year. We do have a guaranteed return that Chartwells must ensure that the district recovers of $40,000, and they'll clearly do that, and we anticipate that the return at the end of this coming week, will be $64,655. So a very good financial year for both the district and Chartwells. Doing a little projections for next year, With the full CEP, we estimate that your revenues are going to jump pretty well. As you may have heard, I mentioned that you got into CEP December 1st. So we're talking about September, October, November, you were not in CEP. So we feel that with the 3 extra months of CEP, that your revenue is going to jump to 1.2, almost 1.3 mil. We're going to be paying Chartwells based on a new Chartwells meal rate. If you extend their contract by the CPI, which is 3.9%, those meal rates reflect that 3.9%. You'd be paying Chartwells $1.1 million, and the difference between what you pay Chartwells and the revenue to the district would be $109,502, far above the guaranteed return. So those are revenues that can be used for other expenditures within the cafeteria program. These projections, as I mentioned, are based on a full year of CEP funding at all schools and adjusting the Chartwells rates by the allowable CPIU of 3.9%. Reimbursement rates, we anticipate the reimbursement rates on the far left side is 23-24. On the far right side would be the estimated lunch meal rates for next year, breakfast and lunch meal rates for next year. For some reason, USDA has not come out with those rates until the end of July, early August. But based on historical data, we have estimated that we're pretty close. We're usually pretty close. Contract compliance, one of the aspects that HMB consultants do. We go to each of the schools a number of times per year. During the 23-24 school year, we performed an on-site review at each school as well as contract compliance audit. The self-reviews are required by USDA and part of the Healthy Hunger Free Kids Act of 2012 and shall be completed by the district or the district designee and not the management company, Chartwells in this case. Through on-site visits and observations of the breakfast and lunch program, HMB consultants assess the areas for improvement and recognize successes. It's a pleasure to see that the breakfast meals continue to be strong with the BIC, breakfast in the classroom format, and the implementation of CEP. Although BIC started here in Scotia prior to COVID, it continues to be a huge help for students to begin their day with a nutritious breakfast. We found that the cashiers in each of the buildings do need to focus a little bit more to ensure that only complete reimbursable meals are recorded. We recommend training the staff on exactly what constitutes a reimbursable meal continuously throughout the school year, and not just at the start of the school year, but also refreshers during the year. The district now has a Chartwell staff member that is ServSafe certified in each building, which is required in your new contract bid specifications. This certification ensures that food safety in both production and handling are being observed and followed. This is a critical, in our opinion, a very critical certification, and it's great to see that they have one person, at least one person in each building. Staffing challenges still exist this past year. Several open positions have been filled, and additional qualified applicants are being sought for the upcoming 24-25 school year. We hope as the new year begins, Chartwells will advertise outside of the box, as they say. Staffing shortages certainly put additional stress on the existing team members, and that hopefully will be kept to a minimum. We suggest more student meetings to occur in the high school, middle school, especially to obtain from students and to hear their suggestions of menu items to improve participation. It is great to see, as we go around other school districts, it's great to see students become ambassadors of your child nutrition program. I've sat in on a number of different student committee meetings where we suggest, make suggestions for the students, or they give us suggestions, and to put them on the menu is a great thing. They take pride and they do act as ambassadors. We suggest the formulation of a student advisory committee consisting of students, parents, and staff to provide valuable input and to provide a voice to assist the child nutrition program to be the best it can be for your students. The goal of your child nutrition program is to feed as many students as possible with good nutritious food in a safe and enjoyable environment. These meetings will assist in meeting that goal. Menus, we review each monthly menu prior to publication to ensure compliance with all Healthy Hunger Free Kids Act requirements and those specific to the Scotia-Glenville Central School District. Our suggestions were implemented each month by Mr. Stowell, adapted to the USDA contract requirements. Communications, it was great to see that the daily memo that we had previously suggested remains in place and serves as a reminder each day of the menu items to be served, the portion sizes of all items, and any internal communications needed to be disseminated to the outlying Chartwells staff members. With turnover the way it is, we feel it's important that a memo go out every day to inform the staff members of exactly what the portion size is, so there's no ambiguity whatsoever. Equipment upgrades, to maintain your equipment in full operational capacity, the district has asked Chartwells to provide a detailed list of all equipment needs or potential upgrades through the existing equipment for the 24-25 school year. With the entire district enrolled in CEP, there's a strong possibility that additional refrigeration and freezer units may be needed at the outlying schools, including the middle school. The opening of the made-to-order deli bar at the high school has added another fresh and nutritious meal option to the students' daily menu. Should daily participation increase, and we do anticipate that happening, there may be additional equipment needs to handle this. During the current 23-24 school year, the State Education Department reviewed your child nutrition program. Their normal frequency of this in-depth review has been every 3 years. That now has been increased to every 5 years. So we just had it, won't have it again for another 5 years. This was an in-depth review that monitors all regulations from the free and reduced application process to the daily offerings at both breakfast and lunch within the offer versus serve concept to ensure that all breakfast and lunch meals meet the reimbursement criteria. Chartwells in the district business office provided the many documents included free and reduced application income applications, recipes, nutritional labels, financial reports, and more. I'm happy to report that there were no performance standard violations cited in their thorough report. Overall, the district has a child nutrition program that we, HMB consultants, feel is meeting the needs of the students and parents. The Chartwell staff are cordial to all and strive to please each student while meeting the USDA and New York State Education Department and contract specification requirements. We recommend the district renew its contract with Chartwells for the 24-25 school year at the May CPI of 3.9%. We at HMB Consultants value our relationship with the district in providing contract compliance oversight and look forward to a great 24-25 school year. I'd be happy to answer any questions relative to any aspect of the program.
Anyone have any questions for Mr. Bigley?
I have a question. What are the staffing challenges? You know,
As like in many fast food operations or restaurants even, the ability to attract people, retain people is difficult. It's very difficult. Although child nutrition programs are unique, a unique phase of the food service industry. We're Monday through Friday. We're no weekends. We don't work Mother's Day, the busiest day in the restaurant season, right? So it's an ideal, I say ideal, it's a great position for people moms and dads who have children in the school. It's ideal. However, not that we've exhausted that situation, it's difficult. But I know Scott has continuing to try to source that.
okay. Thank you. I'm sorry.
No.
And are they full-time positions?
Mostly part-time.
Part-time.
Mostly part-time. Between 4 and 7 hours.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone else have any questions?
I just wanted to make sure that I understand the difference. Unlike the last half of this year where CEP paid for 4 schools and the district paid for 2, next year CEP is expected to pay for all 6 schools.
That's correct.
Okay, so the increase in price from this year to next year is not going to be adversely affected by that?
No, your reimbursements are going to go up. The amount that you're going to pay Chartwells is going to go up by 3.9%, but the reimbursement should go up even more than 3.9%, and your meals are going to be higher as well, because you're going to have 3 months of CEP at all schools as opposed to 7 months. So it's going to be a good financial situation. It's going to be very good.
And just a suggestion, the made-to-order deli is very popular, but I have heard from a lot of students that because of the timing of the lunch that they don't necessarily get to use that option. I don't know if there's been looked into to maybe have pre-made deli sandwiches as well.
It's a great point. In some cases, either more staffing would, facilitate more students going through, which is the ideal situation, or some pre-made. I mean, I think everybody likes their sandwiches made to order, right? You can dictate what's going to go on there, a little bit more, a little bit less. But you're right, pre-made options should be available if, in fact, they can't staff it with enough students enough staff members to get them through quickly. Thank you.
No, Kim took mine.
Dave? All right, well, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Appreciate you having us.
You did a great job.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Take care.
All right, next on the agenda is the superintendent's comments. I will turn it over to Susan.
I just simply want to say we're excited about graduation this coming weekend, and we'll certainly be thinking of those of you who are unable to join us. Wednesday morning is rehearsal, which is always an exciting time. It makes me a little nervous that we're rehearsing on Wednesday and graduation is until Saturday morning, but that seems a long time compared to what we typically do, but we will manage that. And that's it for me.
Next, we have to approve the extension of the food service contract with Chartwells. May I have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve the extension of the Scotia-Glenville Central School District food service contract with Chartwells School Dining Services for 2024-2025 as submitted.
Thank you, Emily. A second, please.
I'll second that.
Who is that? Dave? Thank you. Any questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passed. Okay, next we have an agreement between the school district and Rich Wiesen as a consultant. May I have a motion?
I'll motion to approve the agreement by and between Scotia-Glenville Central School District and Rich Weissman as consultant.
Second?
I'll second it. Or you can second it.
Any questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Number 8, we have to approve the agreement for construction management services from Taddeo CM Consulting. May I have a motion?
I'll motion to approve the agreement for consultant management services by and between the Scotia-Glenville Central School District and Taddeo CM Consulting LLC.
Thank you, Kim. Second?
I'll second.
Okay, thank you. Any questions or comments on this one?
I had a couple of questions. One, the agenda said that the agreements for the 2024-2025 services, but Article 1, Section 5.1 says 2026 as well. So are we approving this for 2025 and 2026, or is it just 2025?
No, it's the duration of the project, which is usually 2 years. So it wasn't worded correctly, I guess, but it's a 2-year.
So it is for the 2 years?
It is for 2026.
Okay.
Okay, Kim, could you please change your motion to make it to 2026?
Yeah, I'll adapt to approve the agreement for the construction management service by and between the Scotia-Glenville Central School District and Taddeo CMM Consulting LLC for 2024 through 2026.
Thank you.
And I had one more question.
Okay.
It's for 4% for this year. What was the percentage the last round?
4%, but the last time, as I said in my memo, if there was change order to change the scope of the work or duration, it would increase the compensation. This is 4% no matter how long it takes.
Great.
Yep.
Nice job.
Yep, thank you.
Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. We now have an agreement between the district and Acture Solutions for our cybersecurity management managed services. Could I have a motion, please?
I'll make a motion that we approve the agreements by and between the Scotia-Glenville Central School District and Acture Solutions for cybersecurity managed services and for the Smart Hands supplement as submitted.
Thank you, Emily. Second?
I'll second that.
Thank you. Dave? All right. Could either Susan or Drew just give us a little information on this? This is our new services, I assume, that is taking over?
Yes, except they're not new. They've been with us for the last 3 years, so this is
Okay.
an extension
It's
of the
extended.
prior contracts with the cybersecurity called out in particular. Not a surprise to anybody here, that is certainly a major concern in terms of the PII and also our financial information.
Thank you. Any other questions? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. We next have a revision to the Medicaid audit correction plan. Could I have a motion, please?
I'll motion that we approve the revision to the Medicaid Audit Corrective Action Plan.
Thank you, Karnjit. Second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Kim. Okay, any questions on this?
I had a question. There was one piece where it said the providers were not entering their session notes timely, and that you Drew, had appropriately said that as of July 1, 2023, that requirement was reiterated. Do we know if there's been an improvement since July 1, 2023 with respect to that issue?
Yes, and it's reflective in the, when you look at the fiscal projections, you'll see the Medicaid revenue was up. That's related to that.
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Next, we need to set the annual organizational meeting. May I have a motion?
I'll move to adopt the resolution that the annual organization meeting of the Board of Education of the Scotia-Glenville Central School District for the 2024-2025 school year be held on July 8, 2024, beginning at 7 p.m. in the cafeteria at the middle school.
Thank you. May I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Kim. Any questions about this? This will be our next meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, now we come to 3 resolutions where we will be authorizing the issuance of serial bonds. These are for the 3 propositions that we had on the ballot in May that our community approved. Each of these needs to be approved separately, and it needs to have a roll call vote. So I will be calling on each person to give their vote aloud, okay? I first need a motion, though, for the 3 30-passenger bus.
I'll move that we authorize the acquisition of school buses and authorize the issuance of serial bonds.
Thank you. Second?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Dave. Okay, any questions at all on this? Okay. Kimmy, yes or no?
Yes.
Kimberly?
Yes.
Emily?
Yes.
Karnjit?
Yes.
Dave?
Yes.
And I am a yes. All right. Motion passes. We next have the next bond issue, which is for the capital project, the $12.5 million project that was approved for improvements and reconstruction. May I have a motion, please?
I'll move that we authorize the finance for construction of improvements to and reconstruction of various district buildings, facilities, sites, and authorize the issuance of serial bonds in the principal amount not to exceed $12.5 million.
Thank you, Dave. Second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Okay, any questions or comments? Kimmy?
Yes.
Kimberly?
Yes.
Emily?
Yes.
Karnjit?
Yep.
Dave?
Yes.
And I am a yes. Thank you. One more here. We have for the acquisition of electric school buses. May I have a motion?
I'll move to authorize the acquisition of electric school buses and authorize the issuance of serial bonds at an aggregate principal amount not to exceed $1 million for the acquisition of electric school buses.
Thank you. Give me a second, thank you. Okay, any questions or comments?
I have, oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Okay. I have a few questions. So, in the more detailed agenda that we have, it says that this is to start the acquisition. And then on our printed agenda, it says authorizing the acquisition. I guess my question is, how definitive is this? I have reservations about purchasing these electric buses because I just don't feel like we have the data that really supports this being, that the technology just hasn't quite caught up yet to where it needs to be. So if we pass this evening, is that already putting things into motion and saying, yes, we're going to purchase the buses? Or is it just saying we're going to earmark the funds to start the process?
So to be consistent with what I've conveyed since the beginning of this, if in fact we are awarded a grant, or the New York State School Bus Initiative, whichever comes first, I will come to you and say, do you want to do this? Then I have the authorization to issue bonds to take over the local share. That's what this does. It's what the voters approved us to do, which if we get this electric buses to 5, that you allow me to borrow the money. That's what this does. So it's not binding you, but the voters gave us the approval to borrow money if in fact we are awarded a grant or incentive money to mitigate the cost of 5 electric buses.
Well, and that was my second question, was obviously the voters already did pass this. So I wasn't sure if this was just sort of acknowledging that, yes, we accept that that was the vote. So this isn't, I think the word you used was binding. So if we go forward with this tonight and then we get information 6 months from now that the electric buses don't work or something, we can still say at some point, we don't want to purchase these buses.
Yes, we have to change our fleet by 2030, correct?
Correct. If we just got denied, did not receive the round 3, which they said was more like a lottery, but there's a round 4 in the fall, plus we're going to apply for the New York State School Bus Initiative, which will do the same thing as far as mitigating the cost. If in fact we're approved, I will come back to the superintendent, then to you, and see if you want to purchase these buses. If in fact, then I've got to borrow money to come up with the $250K per bus. That's the $1 million. So it's the same thing that I've written and everything else. The voters gave you the authorization to borrow the money. This is the next step. Same thing with the capital project. I'm not going to borrow $12.5 million tomorrow because you approved. This now gives me the authority when I need to go to the market to put that in place.
Thank you, Drew.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Did you have questions?
I have one question.
Go ahead.
So how are we currently, infrastructure-wise, have we moved forward with that yet with the electric buses, or no, we just?
It must be inside my head.
Maybe.
Maybe. I feel bad for you. Next board meeting, there'll be a presentation by our architects and our construction manager to update the board on what we've come up with a feasibility and infrastructure cost to acclimating our facility for charging stations, bringing the power load in, running the conduit to the charging stations. So we've been working on this for the past year. So now we're ready to present to you what it's going to take to do it. So July 8th, Susan's the next board meeting?
One last question, I promise.
Absolutely.
Have you noticed any trends on bus prices drop yet? Or they were talking about at the conference that eventually, the prices will go down.
They could, but as of last Thursday, when my Zoom meeting on this, it's still $450K per bus.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And I'm assuming production's still an issue.
Still an issue. Burnt Hill's just got a couple buses, took them 18 months.
Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries.
Pam, are we supposed to do that one separately too?
Yeah.
We're supposed
Oh, yes, I'm sorry, we are. Thank you. Kimmy?
Yes.
Kimberly?
Yes.
Emily?
Yes.
Karnjit? Dave?
Yes.
And I'm a yes. I'm sorry. Did it perfectly on the first two. Messed up the third one. Okay. Now we're past those. I need a motion to increase the tax tertiary reserve fund.
A motion to increase the tax associate reserve fund.
Thank you. Second?
I'll second it.
Thank you. Anybody have any questions? We had a good memo in there from Drew that explained it all. Does anybody have any questions? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Okay. We now have a motion, need a motion to approve the addendum number 1 to Mr. Arquette's contract.
I'll make a motion that we approve addendum number 1 to the Assistant Superintendent for Curriculum and Instruction contract as submitted.
Thank you. Can I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Anybody have any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes. Congratulations, Rick. All right. We next need to appoint an interim administrator. It's actually extending it because Jill is in this position, Jill Bush, right now doing stuff, and she's doing the human resources stuff for us. Can I have a motion, please?
A motion to appoint the intern administrator for the district as stated.
Thank you, Kimmy. Second?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Kimberly. Any questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, we now have to approve a memorandum of agreement between the district and the Secretaries Association for Sharon Riggy for her responsibilities as registrar. May I have a motion?
I'll move that we approve the memorandum of agreement by and between Scotia-Glenville Central School District and the Scotia-Glenville Secretarial Association. Submitted?
Yep, thank you very much. Second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Dave. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, we now 19 and 20 are donations to scholarship funds that we need to accept. May I have a motion, please?
I'll move to accept the gift and donation to be applied to the Doug McManus Scholarship Fund and the gift and donation to be applied to the Scotia-Glenville Nurses Scholarship Fund, both with thanks.
Thank you, Kimberly. Can I have a second?
Second.
Kim, thank you. Right, we now come to communications.
A motion to move communications, A and B, report to the superintendent, 1 through 12, staffing, 1 through 22,
Yep. Okay.
and
Aye.
placement of children with disabilities.
Okay. May I have a second?
I'll second.
Any questions or comments?
Pam, were we supposed to vote on 19 and 20 first before we went to the next?
There wasn't, did I?
Was there a vote on 1920?
I'm sorry. Go back to 19 and 20. I thought I did, but I'm sorry, I may have missed it. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion's passed. Okay, now we're on to the next set that was just moved. Any questions or comments on any of these?
Are we including both 21 and 22?
Yes.
Yes.
So then my question is, are the fingerprints pending on any of these individuals?
No.
Thank you.
Any questions? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, although they're not here this evening, I would like to congratulate Laura Daly, Mal Zerzada Kelly, Christina Clydesmith, Mackenzie Lacrosse Bressett, Kevin McCain, Melissa Parator, Shayna Rosa, Agra Scott, Lindsay Seeger, Heather Swizicki, okay, I'm sorry, Amanda Walters, and Dana Zebrieri on being granted tenure, which will be effective in the fall. I will note receipt of the treasurer's report for May of 2024. Are there any questions? Okay, I will note receipt of the budget transfers for May 2024. Are there any questions? Okay, I need a motion to accept the minutes from June 10th.
A motion to accept the minutes for June 10th,
Thank you,
2024.
Kimmy. Second?
Second.
Thank you, Dave. Any questions or corrections on the minutes?
Just the minor one, and I'm being picky. There's no hyphen between Boucher and Furnish.
That's not
I'll
being
do that.
Yes, sir.
That's not being
Isn't it?
That's being
Oh, may as well get it right. you know?
There,
Oh,
All right.
there wasn't in the beginning.
okay.
There
So
wasn't a
Kim, will
beginning.
you make the motion with the correction, please?
I will make a motion to accept the regular minutes for June 10th, 2024, without the hyphen between Bouchard and Finish.
Thank
Furnish.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions?
Okay, I abstained, right? I wasn't here.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
All right. Is there any other business that needs to come before the board tonight? Dave?
Just want to take a couple minutes and say thank you very much. Thank the Scotia-Glenville residents for trusting me for the last 6 years to kind of oversee stuff and be your voice, which was pretty awesome. Thank the staff, the teachers, and everybody else associated with students. You guys really kick arse on a daily basis, and it's very much appreciated. It's pretty cool seeing things from this side of the table. I wish more of the community had the ability to, maybe to understand more what we can do, what we can't do, like what the school's responsibilities are. The staff is amazing. Teachers are amazing, from the top all the way to everybody else. It's pretty cool. The students, we got some pretty amazing students, and it's been a pleasure to talk to them over the years and have some input. You guys rock. I've never been part of another board, so I guess I'm biased with you guys, but it's pretty badass working with you guys. We have a lot of different areas of our lives that we bring specialties to, and I think it mixes really, really well. And I'm looking forward to the future, right? You guys are still going to be kicking butt and doing your thing, and thank you for sometimes putting up with my unorthodox way of getting a point across. I appreciate it. To the admins, come on, there isn't a better school out there. I'm so proud to be part of Scotia-Glenville, and I graduated from Niski, and you guys have turned me into a tartan. So I'm really, really proud of you guys. Drew, you and your staff, holy crap. If the village and the town don't appreciate what you have been able to do financially for this school, it's a darn shame, man, because you're amazing, and Susan, you have put such a crew together. It's fantastic. Holy cow. 6 years, it's been pretty dope. We've done some cool stuff, lots of fields and auditoriums and upcoming vestibules. We've done some amazing stuff. We navigated through some pretty trying times, like once in a 100-year pandemic, which was, coming out of that, we brought to light some things that we hadn't really entertained before, technology and mental health and stuff that we're really kind of embracing now. It's pretty cool. I thought we came onto those unique challenges and came out of them, really, really shining, doing a great job. I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys do. I'm looking forward to maybe our next $12.5 million project, including a bathroom and kitchen facility for our football field. You know, it's cool going to other places and actually having a cool, nice place to wash your hands and stuff rather than a porta potty. Yeah, right? So, and thank you to my family for the last 6 years of putting up with me being here a couple days a month and reading and away, and it's been a lot of fun. I look forward to sitting up on that side and busting your chops as often as I can.
I hope you do.
So thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Dave.
We love you, Dave.
Thanks, Dave.
Okay, is there anyone who would like to speak to the board for the last hearing and privilege of the board? Okay, I will close that.
Pam, I'm sorry, I had something, a couple things to mention as well tonight. I'm sorry to be following you, Dave, especially with such a great,
Go ahead.
great comment. First, I wanted to say kudos to the district with how you handled the heating situation, the heat wave last week, especially with kids taking Regents. I heard kudos from parents for leaving early. High school kids were very excited that they didn't have to sit through heat in order to take their exams. So I know I was one of those parents that was a little stressed about the situation, and I know others were too, and I thought the district really handled it very well. So I just wanted to mention that. And then the other thing, and one of my other lives for Scotia-Glenville is I've been lucky enough to be part of a committee called the Go Tartans Paint the Warehouse Committee. And it started from a couple gentlemen who had to keep looking at the Adirondack Beverages building that's next to the football field and thinking, wouldn't that be a cool place to have a tartan mural? So after 2 years of getting money and support and help from people, we're really proud to announce that it's finally coming to fruition. July 1, we're going to be doing the official commemorative first paintbrush of starting to paint the building. It's the building that overlooks the football field that's across the street from the middle school. Susan and Drew have kindly offered to come. Hopefully Hal will as well to represent the district. We're going to have other individuals there as well, along with Adirondack Beverage to be a part of that. Then we're going to be taking the entire month of July to finish that painting. And I want to say that one of our own parents of one of our own students, Phil Shaw, he's the parent of Emmett Shaw, a 10th grader here, well, soon to be 11th grader, at the high school, is actually spearheading. He created the mural, and he's going to be spearheading a project. Glenn Warnock and Ed Yidri also are two heads of our committee as well. But we're going to be able to paint the whole thing, shockingly, in a month. It still shocks me because it's going to be 20 feet by 140 feet of a mural. And Phil is an expert at this. He did the Collins Park mural by the splash pad. So his is his thing. So he's positive it's going to be up in a month. So we're going to have a ribbon cutting on August 3rd to have a reveal of it. But we're very excited about it. So please, keep a watch out as the work progresses. And we're very excited that our football games and other sporting events next year are going to have that overlooking them.
Thank you to everybody who put effort in toward getting this done. It's exciting.
It is. It really is. Thanks. Oh, and I have stickers out if anybody wants to take them, and that's a part of the effort.
Anybody else have anything else? Okay, the last thing I have listed here on my agenda is to say thank you to Dave. Dave has given us 6 years of service, has done a lot for the board, has helped us accomplish a lot of things. We really appreciate everything you've done, Dave, and we want you to know you really will be missed. Thanks again.
Very well.
Dave, would you like to do the honors of adjourning the meeting?
Hearing privilege of the floor?
I did that.
Okay, perfect. You ready?
No, you do it.
I'd like to make a motion to end our meeting here tonight. Thank you very much.
Second.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?